Chapter 27, The Drain That Would Not Quit. Our time in Arizona would have been perfect except for two things. First, I was still in a huge amount of pain. It hurt to move, it hurt to sit still, it hurt to lie down. The only way I could achieve comfort that night, was to sit fully upright in a chair. I fashioned a little fort of pillows around me to support my head and neck. By doing this, I managed to catch a few hours of sleep, or something that resembled sleep. The second thing that hindered my ability to fully relax was the discomfort from my remaining surgical drain. Blast that drain! It was a huge pain in my side, literally. Being that it was way past the obnoxious point, I was ready to yank it out myself. Unfortunately, it was still draining more than 40 cc's of fluid every day. Although the fluid had changed from being tinged with blood to a sickly yellow color, there was still too much of it to meet requirement for removal. Once we arrived home, I felt the rage and regret move in. Maybe this whole reconstruction jazz was a mistake. I mean, who needs boobs anyway? They just get in the way, and sometimes they try to kill you. Why was I putting myself through such misery? I had reached the end of my patience rope, and I went to my next appointment with Dr. Chen, ready to do anything if she would just remove the drain or maybe get rid of my entire right breast altogether. I could not stand the pain and discomfort 1 second longer. It was excruciating nearly every minute, day and night. Excerpt from my journal. Dr. Chen was concerned that I was still in so much pain. She was also worried because the stuff coming out of my drain looks infected. But I haven't had a fever, and my breast does not have classic infection symptoms. She took 40 cc's of saline out, hoping that it would relieve some pressure and pain. Then she pushed and poked, trying to direct some of the fluid to the drain. All the while, I am moaning and flinching. She put me on some antibiotics, and I have to go back in on Tuesday. End quote. Something else that Dr. Chen mentioned at that appointment was that if the drain did not start slowing down soon, or there were any changes to the look of my breast, she would have to remove the tissue expander and start the process over again. She suggested that I take it easy for a few days to see if I could get the fluid to slow down. I decided that it was time to declare war on my new enemy, aka the tissue expander from the underworld. If it meant that I had to sit on my couch and do nothing for a week straight, I would do it. I was desperate and so exhausted. Although I could sneak in little cat naps here and there, I had not had a full night's sleep since before my surgery. The lack of sleep added to my lack of patience, causing me to be a tad unpleasant to be around. Quote from my journal, day 230. I still have this very annoying drain. It's very old. It's a nuisance. It itches and it hurts when I bump it. It's starting to leak around the tubing that is protruding from my rib cage. I'm really trying to be patient, but it is hard. At this point in the journey, I feel kind of numb. I feel like I'm just going through the motions again. I have some sort of doctor's appointment at least 2 times a week. I think if you added up how much time I have spent in doctor's offices over the past 230 days, it would easily equal about 1 full month or more of my life. I can't start radiation until my drain is out, so once again, I am playing the waiting game, stuck in limbo. Day 235. Still in limbo, still mostly uncomfortable, especially at night. I feel like this drain is never going to go away. It has slowed down a tiny bit today, but not enough to get it out. I should get a prize or something for being the one with the drain in the longest. It has now been 40 days since my surgery. Usually drains are in for 14 to 21 days. I just want to move on, but things happen for a reason. Maybe my body just needs some extra time to heal before it takes another beating with radiation. Today was Easter, and it was another gorgeous day outside. I love the springtime. The trees all look amazing, and there is such a wonderful, crisp, new smell in the air. Perfect for my fresh start on life. Gone is the dreary winter with its sickness and yuckiness. It is replaced with the wonderful hope of a bright future as I move forward and try to live my life better. Day 241. I have still spent the week with this obnoxious drain, making it 46 days since surgery. I have decided that it is coming out on Tuesday, even if I have to alter the numbers a bit. The drainage has stayed between 30 and 40 cc's for almost a month now. It's not going any lower. I've pretty much been in bed all weekend and it hasn't slowed down any. So I will be telling Dr. Chen that it has stayed below 30 for a few days. I can't bear it anymore and I want to get started with radiation. It's hard to believe that this whole journey is nearing an end. It feels like yesterday that I was holding my phone to my ear, listening to someone tell me that I have cancer. I will never forget that moment. The initial shock and disbelief. Trying to hold back my tears and be brave for my girls. I have learned so much about myself and just life in general. I wouldn't trade the things that I have learned, but I hope to never have to experience this again in my lifetime.